Hello, hello, and hello again. I'm Candid Stanisci of NLL Lacrosse Talk. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV Channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. Now on NLL Lacrosse Talk, our co-host Gary Groob and our very special guest Tyson Bell of the Halifax Thunderbirds. I was in Halifax before your season started for a football game that happened out there. We'll talk about that, but first, we always like to ask everybody, Tyson, what brought them to the game of lacrosse? What made you pick up a stick?
It's lacrosse to me is Catherine's. There's been a lot of legends in my eyes that have played the game and of lacrosse. Very fortunate enough to call some of my family. I think I wanted just to kind of continue to carry the torch, and no complaints. Just doing what I love to do, and I consider that lacrosse. So.
Okay, the next thing I want to ask you is you're playing in a relatively new location where lacrosse wasn't there as far as pro lacrosse is concerned. What was it like when you landed there?
Personally, for myself, it was a warm welcoming. I kind of fell in love, I would say very quick last year. But no, it's like you said, yeah, it's kind of not much lacrosse that's been there more to me as like a hockey town. But I think what we kind of bring to the city, and I consider our team a pretty year. So, it's nice to see each game that we have, each home game that we have, and it's good for us. It's good for the organization. It's good for the city, and to have landed in Halifax, it's a very good spot.
And it's a nice little barn to play by the water.
It's phenomenal. Personally, I enjoy being by the water, so kind of get that aspect of it, and it kind of compared to what I've used to play in and played in. But like I said, games we have with getting some big wins coming down the stretch here, I think that it should attention and fill the barn even more.
What was it like playing the other Philadelphia team? Rochester, sorry.
Rochester. Yeah, I figured you're saying that. There's probably some bad blood between guys, but it's game on. Everyone has a job to do, and all the outside noise kind of just focusing on what you have to do. But it was a crazy game in my eyes. It was a big game. Obviously, losing those two straight games, and going into our home barn, going against the first place team who hasn't lost yet, and I'll give props to the team. They do the small things, and the small things to me kind of end up on them, and that's what they prove. But we kind of like I said, we had a little chip on our shoulder. We needed to get back. I'm glad that we kind of got the job done, and here anyways. So it's going to be another good game.
Yeah, you got the job done. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna stand back and make sure everything's okay so that Gary can ask some questions.
Well, most of the guests we have on, right? They talk about starting when they're 4 or 5. They had a stick in their crib. You didn't start till you were almost a teenager. How did you really get going in this?
So like I said earlier, right? Just kind of growing with Mark Steinhaus, Billy D, and they would have a just down the highway here in Grimsby, and kind of hanging around Billy D a little bit more. He had mentioned to my dad, we got to put Tyson, we got to at least try him, throw him in a camp I went to, Billy D actually gave me my first stick, and I go out on the floor and I see I grew up playing hockey with. So it was kind of like, you know, I felt welcomed and I felt comfortable because I was, and, you know, I like I always say, I kind of just stuck it out, and, you know, because if I didn't, I don't think I'd be here today.
Right. Well, you're an athlete anyways, right? You were in baseball, basketball, hockey. So lacrosse would be really a good continuation, I guess, kind of a basketball, hockey idea, just with picks and all the other things that went along with the game.
You know, it's kind of, I kind of think of it, like you said, it's kind of a little bit different, right? You kind of have all 5 guys on the ice kind of going up and down the ice, kind of the same thing. But lacrosse, it's, you got your O guys usually, and you got your D guys, and you got the you know, that kind of do both, which is the called transition. And it's not kind of, I don't want to say it's not like a sloppy ball, but it's to me, it's played. Again, I'm just fortunate enough to be able to have the gift that I have. If I have the opportunity to kind of push the ball and to kind of make something of it, then that's what I'm going to do.
Right. You won in your first year, so there's nothing like hoisting a trophy to kind of, you know, help along.
No doubt.
So you played midget, and then you went into St. Catharines lacrosse and played a couple of 4 years of junior A there. In 17 games, 14 points, having 115 loose balls. So obviously you got a hold of the game and really started excelling.
Yeah, jumped in, and you know, it's, to me, something that I've always dreamed about when I make it to the highest level and kind of exceed to what I have to do, and good fit.
Mm-hmm. No, we're going to college, and Division I schools had interest, but you didn't have the grades for it, and you wound up in Onondaga College, which wound up becoming really a good thing and making lifelong friends. Talk about the school and the program, because it was a feeder for Syracuse, wasn't it?
So I was growing up kind of, I didn't want to say, although I did. I was playing hockey at the time, and I was more focused on hockey, you know, OH in my line sight. But, you know, just like I said, kind of struggled to school of those handful of D1 offers that I had the opportunity to do. But just through the clearinghouse process with the Canadians going to American schools type thing. And some people, a couple guys I grew up playing with in Six Nations, and they were kind of in the same. Personally, I think it was the best fit for me. I went to a community college, lectures and, you know, stuff like that. But like I said, it was a good fit for me. Right? From when I went there until now, they've done much better. I'm thankful to say that, you know, I went there, I did what I had to do, and it brought me being able to play at the high pro field level, as in, you know, playing for the Team Canada, having the opportunity to play in the PLL, which is kind of a dream come true for me.
Right.
I think going to, like I said, going to a smaller school, it was a better fit, and you know, I won 2 championships, and yeah, kind of just. I had the opportunity actually to Syracuse after that, but I would have had a red shirt.
Right,
Personally,
sure.
I knew.
Right,
sure. For me, you know, I'm the type of person who I couldn't just go to school as bad as that sounds. I would kind of need something to fall. So, yeah, it's kind of, you know, worked out in my favor.
Tyson, just 2 things. This is an assumption on my part. if you could turn down the volume on your iPad, we might get less feedback. If you, but don't turn it down so you can't hear it. But try to get hello. Yeah, it's a little better now. It's a little better now. A little. Yeah, we're getting what in the business is called holdback. We're getting rebound in your language. We're getting a rebound of the sound. Okay. Yeah, 'cause it might bother some people. It doesn't bother me too much, but anyway, what I wanted you to do was to give a shout out to this small school.
Yeah, absolutely. Onondaga Community College. I'm still rooting for all you guys. And I was recently there a couple months ago for the alumni game, which was an absolute blast. I've seen some guys that were there before me. I met the new coaches. My coach, who's the absolute beauty of a human. He kind of took me under his wing when I was there. So,
good. Thanks for that.
All right, cool. So you get into the NLL draft. You get drafted second round to Calgary. Let's talk about your time with them. I think it was 5 years. Let's talk about the city. The crowds were great. You won a championship with them. Talk about Malosky as a coach and the team in general, because there's some great teams.
it was, it was kind of, I went to the combine, did pretty well, talked to kind of before the draft. You have a scrimmage, whatnot, and the teams kind of evaluate you. At that time, almost every team in the league, except for Calgary, those kind of teams, I didn't get a chance to talk to. To me, that kind of thing. So, just kind of sitting there like every kid, just waiting for your name to kind of get called up, and then pick me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's awesome. Go up there, do the whole picture, everything, get your jersey, and then going into the team, we were a young team at that time. Christian Del Bianco, who's a hell of a goalie in my eyes, and him being the age he was, I think, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But Calgary was one of the funnest times of my life, I would say, because I was fell in love with the city. The fans are great. It's a big NHL packet almost every game we had, and then obviously winning that champ, a dream come true, and like I always say, winning a championship like that get about, you have that feeling, right? And whatever team you play for, you just kind of remember that, and it makes you work harder or make you strive for it to have that feeling again. And I hope here, I like to say it now, but I know our team has a pretty good chance till whenever. But back to the Calgary, it's just it's just, and it's going to be play Calgary, so it's I get to see all the guys again, and a bunch of them already been texting me like, hey, type thing. I'm like, no, like it's not like that. I'm going out there. I'm going to play with. So, yeah, just looking forward to this weekend also.
Sure.
Speak to the fact that your team is a relatively new team, and still in the NLL, they've worked very hard to make sure that the new teams have a little bit of a push. So new fans don't have to wait 3, 4, 5 years for a team to do well. Speak to how important that is to you as a player.
Right. Like just speaking on Vegas's part, right? For a bit, trying to find their first W, but I think as this next kind of stretch comes, the chemistry is kind of with our team. A lot of the guys are from Ontario, so we grew up against each other in the same area, whatnot. So that chemistry is there. And the first year that Halifax was a team, they were great. It was you guys kind of bounce over, and they kind of had a core group, and with that core group, they've finals. It's a very well structured team with the working staff. So yeah, I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm glad I landed there, and just looking forward to the rest of the season.
It's like going on the road with your team, right? But or joining a team, nobody knows what the place is like. You're all learning at the same time. It's a pretty unique concept in my mind.
Yeah, and our team's pretty, family base oriented. We're all pretty close to each other. When one goes, we all go is one of the things we say, and it's the weekends is something that I always say this. It's just like, those are your brothers, right? Those are the guys who. So those Friday, Saturday, Sunday days, those come. I'm like so stoked. Going to the airport gate is just like, it's like, okay, now it's like, it's go time, and excited. We just had practice last night, which is kind of a bonus for us, because, like I said, a bunch of our guys live in the area. Practice Wednesday nights, but yeah, just a weekend hanging out with each other, lunch, and then kind of hanging out after is something I look forward to.
It's a different kind of road game.
Yeah, you're no doubt.
And also, you have Billy D as your coach. So it's having a family member there too. So true family as well as brothers in arms, right?
That's right. That's right.
Now I want to change a little bit. I want to talk about the field championship in Israel. You had a chance to play for Team Canada, but for a split second, really should have come home with a gold in that thing. I think you guys got robbed, but
Literally,
that's just me.
Literally a second. It's but it comes up sometimes, and kind of just have to swallow the pill, and just kind of have to, make sure that doesn't happen again.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the tournament itself and being part of Team Canada, and just how much it's grown worldwide, and to see it live, and just to take that all in. How was that? Just as a personal.
I think it's great. I think it's great. These other not so big countries, I would say, like playing in the PLL, there's a bunch of players that would go and travel and put on those camps for kids. It's so cool to see. Personally, I would love to do something like that. Fly somewhere and kind of teach the game, because I think it's pretty important reasons. It's important to me, and for me to kind of share, my story, and anybody else is it would definitely mean the world to me, and probably to someone who work.
Now, I know a bunch of you guys were going around in Canadian shirts and showing the game and explaining the game. How was that when you started showing that to people who have never seen the game before?
Wearing having the opportunity to wear on your jersey, on a hat, to say you're part of that organization and that team. I think anything can kind of beat that. You're representing your country, and you are of a select few, or however many people they can pick from. So to me, and looking forward to seeing what Team Canada can do. It's going to kind of be a revenge tournament, is how I could kind of think. It's just, like I said, it's very important to be able to wear the red and white, and you're not representing only yourself, but you're representing your country and all the players that come from there.
All right, so let's go on to the next section, which would be Major Series Lacrosse. And you played for the Brampton Excelsiors, but during the rougher years, after the sponsorships had gone, now they had a huge, long lineage of fantastic teams and Man Cups. You got traded to Six Nations, and it was a blockbuster because it was for 3 players, picks, all kinds of things. And you're still with the Chiefs. How was it playing MSL with the Chiefs? Because this year they did fantastic.
Playing for them is, again, I'll say it is like a dream come true, right? My cousins, Billy D, Dane Smith played for them. A handful, even growing up watching Cody Jamieson, Sid Smith, like Beans, Sully, Code C, guys like that were able to do that and to do. So now that I'm there, I'm going to take, to me, winning a Man Cup is up there from winning like a championship or an NLL Cup. It's a struggle, right? It's a grind. It's basically the NLL, the 2 top tier teams, which in my eyes would be Six Nations and Peterborough. The whole team, both teams. So you're going out there every shift, and it's like an NLL game. So, but no, it's a great time, great organization. Again, you get to be coached by some legends, which is pretty cool in my eyes. But all these is, to me, it's just a fun time again.
This past summer, you guys were within an eyelash of going to the finals. It was a fantastic series. It was rough. It was still skilled. Everything you wanted in a game, and then some.
Yeah, I don't think you could have said any better. It was pretty rough. I was actually dealing with an injury, so I had to broke. My doctor's like, you can't play. I'm like, buddy, I'm playing. Like, short, so I can put my glove over, because I'm like, we have a pretty good opportunity here in front of us. I have to play through this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what I did. But fell short or to this next coming summer, so we can try it all again.
Now we'll go over to the PLL, and you joined Chaos in 2020, and that was during the COVID bubble season, which is a weird time for everybody. But at least they were able to put on a good season.
Yeah, I mean, we were in Utah, which is a fantastic place, and kind of being cooped up in a hotel room where you couldn't really step foot out of your room wasn't really the best, but we were able to go to practice. We kind of took advantage of all the opportunities that we could to be out, and that Rabel and the whole PLL staff got to play, even though it was a short season. But again, that was a grind, and and clean as possible. It was a struggle, but again, I'm glad they got it figured out, because it was that was also a good time.
Now, you playing field and you playing box, it really, your game itself fits both, which is really, it's head and shoulders above a lot of players. Which is your preference? I would assume it's box, but
I'll say box. Yeah, field's fine. I enjoy playing it. To me, it's just a lot slower. For me personally, I enjoy the quick speed, tighter playing areas, right? With the 5-on-5, you're kind of all around. So you got to be quick with your reactions, because the ball will end up in the back of your net. Yeah, to me, I would say box, simply because of those reasons there. And don't get me wrong, I do still enjoy the field time, being outside, nice weather, legs under you, because there's a lot of running.
Mm-hmm. Your Canadian is showing. When we have an American guest, I would hear field. When I hear Canadian, I box. But the PLL in its own right have put across a lot of ideas for the players, between the increase in salary, the health benefits, things like that, that hopefully will go industry wide. Um, Talk about Rabel and his vision for that while you're there as a player.
I think they're doing everything they should be doing. Like you said, with the player salaries and the health benefits. I think that's how every professional should be treated. And with the money that kind of gets players' attention, and simply because of the TV deal is great for the sport. It's easy to turn your TV on if you're in Canada, or if you're in the States, you're able to watch it. And what started that league too, up until now, with more teams coming into the league and grabbing more of them. I think it's great. It's just that's what that league's about. But is you're getting those top tier players where it's going to be good, and they definitely backed it up. And like I said, fortunate enough to be selected. And I'm surprised. I'm excited to see coming forth what they're.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of lacrosse fans know you as a warrior on the turf, but you've also been social media-wise, be able to use your position for a number of different causes. Black Lives Matter, Every Child Matters. Now that we're at the beginning of the Black History Month, learning how difficult it was for your father growing up as a black man also, I imagine, helped with working with Black Lives Matter. Talk a little bit about education and things like that you put forward.
I mean, they are very touchy subjects, right? It's playing for an Indigenous, having a black father, black family relatives that don't understand, the struggles that everyone's kind of, I'll say, them through, and what they have to deal with on an everyday basis. So, like you said, with the Black History Month, I think it's kind of open their eyes a little bit, maybe do some research and learn about not so much, how do I say this, not so much about being black, but learning, right? Because I'm sure if you ask people, a few that probably know much about anything, but for personal sake, like, it's me to know, like, I kind of still do my research on everything. I still do my research on my family and my ancestors. It's family, right? It's something you should know, and obviously something you kind of get in the topic with being talked about. And I personally dealt with having a black dad. I know my cousin Latrell Harris has, and right, but it still happens, and it's still happening to this day. So day for change, and because you hate to see it, you hate to hear about it, you hate to read about it, but it's just life, and life kind of goes.
Yeah, well, a dude like me that isn't, I'm not black, but my background growing up here, we were treated a little differently. Back then, we were a visible minority. What I wanted to ask you, because I kind of can relate to it, and I think the question I want to ask is, being in the position you are, do you feel sometimes like you should know more information and you put a little too much pressure on yourself to be more understanding than is possible, it seems, at sometimes?
I think so. Yeah. I kind of think about it more and more, and it's something good to have in the back of your head for any reason, right? For an interview. If a little child, I've kind of dealt with these two little boys, who, in them, they're white, but they also have curly hair and blue eyes, and that was literally me. I kind of had a little sit down and talk with their mom about it, and I had to just kind of pull the boy always assign to them and like, this is like, you know, this is life. This is kind of what people have to deal with, and black skin, but you don't need to have black skin to have black in you, right? Like, family is black, and the other half of my family on my mom's side is white. I mean, if you look at me, he's not black, but you know what? I am, and you know, you know, I just kind of be me and kind of let people know that's that.
Yeah, it's tough because you can't necessarily always be an open book. In other words, when people see you, they really don't know what your life is like. So, you know, and that's what makes it hard for I assume for you, is because you have to almost do like you said. You got to do homework and understand what it's all about. It's not something you want to deal with. In lacrosse, we have the issue with Native Canadians, Native Americans. So, you know, it's something. There's a sensitivity level in lacrosse that you might not find in other sports.
Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, it's nice to, you know, kind of have my social platform self and, you know, get those people's attentions. So, right. And I think that's kind of the main message here is just to, you know, learn and don't be so straightforward on everything else like everybody else has been. So it's,
Yeah, well, you got to give people a chance to learn about the situation, right? It's not something we all understand. You know, we're all learning. You know, you're not the only one learning.
yeah, no, I get that.
You know, it's normal. Anyway, I just wanted to explore that, drill down a little bit on that.
Well, yeah, it's evolution, right? We have to evolve, learn, grow. The game is putting it together. They've started at least with the shirts, your practice shirts and things like that, trying to get a little bit more knowledge and sensitivity as well as inclusion. Should we look also not just Indigenous, but as well as say Black Lives Matter as well? It shouldn't just be one; it should be for everyone, really.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said, they're touchy subjects, and you know, I think it's great is kind of doing that with having every team wear the Every Child's Matter shirt. It would be nice to see Black History Month shirt, you know, but that's obviously something that's not in my hands. And yeah, they are touchy subjects, and it'd be nice for people, for more people to kind of explore and, you know, get the understanding and the logistics.
Right.
Okay. Now, let's get back to lacrosse.
Well, they've done it with Pride. You've had Pride nights. They've had, you know, now we're having Indigenous evenings, and so as it should be. It's the next thing to flow in there. Now, I wanted to talk again about the season here, and you guys started out like a house on fire, and it's scoring from everywhere, and all of a sudden it just stopped for a couple of games. This last game looked more like the Halifax team of what I saw at the beginning of the year, and it seems as though if you guys are playing gritty, you guys are able to do just about anything you want.
You said that numerous times now. You know, it's once you're hot, you kind of try to, and I think that's the group that kind of Rochester was in, and you know, it was lame for us personally, so we kind of went out there and just left it all on the floor. But yeah, I think I just out there buzzing around, still kind of finding their role and losing streaks, which obviously doesn't help. Not losing one game, 2 games. Always, you know, in our mentality is you look forward to the next game, and you know, and that's kind of the stuff that we go over in practice, right?
Right.
You just need to fix your mistakes, and you need to be better. And the season does go by quick, so these games kind of counting down here are very important. That we have coming up are going to be good games for us. You know, we play Rochester again. Then we play New York, and then I think we're playing Toronto too. So that Toronto and the Buffalo game are going to be big. Those are the games that we lost, and obviously we're going to want to get back. So, like I said, season, you kind of want to get these. I wouldn't say you don't want to get the losses out early in the season, but you got to get more on the later half of the season when it really matters.
Well, there's so much parity in the league that you find a little bit. It's really difficult to try and get yourself back up in the standings.
Obviously, personally, I myself, I don't like really the bye weekends, right? You kind of groove, I would say, right? I mean, yeah, we get to practice, but a practice is different from a game. Getting off, you're kind of just sitting ducks and you're kind of just doing stuff on your own time. When you offline, obviously, I get that some players need the rest and all that stuff, but like I said, it's point for teams where they need to be on the floor, they need to be working, they need to be grinding, and our team is fortunate enough that we're able to practice Wednesdays, so we all get to see each other. We all get to go there. But yeah, this like I said, these next couple games here are important for what we're focused on right now, one game at a time.
Yeah, because even last year, I had you touted at probably going to the finals, and then near the end of the season, it kind of fell off a little bit. This year, it looks like you guys are, you had that little rut. Now it's time to ramp up so that that thing doesn't happen again.
That's right. It's just, like I said, again, the season kind of goes by quick, and you just want to go out there and battle and play for the guy next to you, as our coach always says, and like I said, our team, in my eyes, is better than last year. This year, obviously losing last year to Toronto and that overtime game is something that's put yourself in an overtime situation in a big game like that. So it's key to for whatever coach has lined up for us, and obviously he's going to lead us to success. So we will just
programs to help with the with youth.
Sorry,
are you
of that?
I was saying that Halifax had a lot of programs for youth. Are you involved in any of the coaching or any of the other things?
Not yet. I've actually spoke to one of the ladies for this. We have a March break camp coming up in a couple of weeks here, and had asked if obviously I would love to do that because coaching is something that I enjoy doing. Kind of giving back to the kids, new stuff, and it's going to be after one of our so the people or the kids will be able to watch the game and then just come on the floor and we'll just put on a little. And like I said, it's something I enjoy doing. Me and close friend started our own company called After Hours Lacrosse that we started here in St. Catharines, and already with good turnouts and positive feedback and camps, and coming back to the next camp, it's the same group of kids plus some. So I mean, we wanted to do, and we were fortunate enough to put a couple teams together in two tournaments that we've been in. So that's also another bonus. But it's also something that it's personal, teaching the game and kind of giving back. And I hope, to make it grow and expand.
Right. So that's something you're looking to after the game is done for you playing, is maybe getting into that venture. Yeah. Cool. So you have part of Epic Lacrosse, right? Sponsorships. What's entailed with that? Obviously, equipment and things. But do you get a chance to go out and show some of the equipment, or?
I have not yet. I'm still kind of waiting for that opportunity to come up. But has treated me well since I started with them years ago, and to me, best gear for myself. With the head that I use, it's more of like an offense, defensive head, and it's comfortable for me. The gear is very comfortable for what I know. Not too much work kind of goes into it, which is kind of good, and work very quick and easy, and just excited and happy to say that I'm an epic athlete.
Right. You're also part of Thompson Brothers Lacrosse, right?
Yeah, there's kind of not, I wouldn't say fell off, but what we used to do up until now, like a camp-based thing, where a couple of years ago, we would have like a team, right? Usually in the Syracuse last night tournament. But that's a fun group. Obviously, being able to hang out with the Thompsons is the coolest thing ever. To be able to play with those guys is even more fun. And that's all I can say. It's a good group of guys to know, and to kind of sit down and talk to them, I think is it's pretty important to me.
Well, sure, because Lyle uses his platform also for helping with Indigenous and helping again with diversity, inclusion, and equality, and getting the message out. So in a sense, you guys really are have the same goals in mind, which is fantastic. All right, so your cousin, you had mentioned Latrell, and both of you are sharp dressers. Who follows who?
The hat was a dead giveaway. I'm just missing the little floppy ball on the top, man. Yeah.
I said in a previous interview that it was me that he kind of followed me, and he kind of gave me a little I don't want to go through that again, but yeah, it's just it's for us. I would say it's kind of express how we are. Even if I'm going to the store, like even if guys are kind of wearing whatever, like I went to practice, I looked nice, I was matching my color, nice fit that I had, and it's funny. One of the guys actually matched. Was like, "Do you always match your shoe you have on?" I was like, "Yeah,
it's a thing.
How I am, and when I have the opportunity to look sharp, I'm obviously gonna take it."
For sure. Now, the state of the game itself. We've had commissioners on. We've had Brent Fruit on. We had Sakevich on before, and everything was moving. I guess the way Sakevich had put it was kind of like the NHL of the mid '70s. It was expansion had hit, and the TV deals were starting, but we hadn't quite gotten to the explosion of the '80s of the NHL. Do you figure that the game itself now is kind of in that realm, and like the elevator is slowly taken off from the ground floor? Because we've always been here. Now, finally, there's other things. You've got blue chip ownerships. You've got top, when we say, unlike any other sport, the best of the world is playing. And in lacrosse, that's true.
I think it's great. I think, like you said, with the sponsorships and some of the owners that some of them, like for instance, with San Diego and Joe Tsai, like, well, I don't know what can beat that, right? Guy does well for himself. He's a smart man, and that's just like you said, just over the last couple of years, having these expansions, TV deals. I think that's what the league needs, and to kind of get attention to people out there, so they do watch the game, and then when they watch the game, they're going to want to go to a game, help the league organization, help the arena, everything.
Do you think that the league can become a full-time venue so that you guys don't have to have outside work?
I talking to Mark Steinhaus when I wasn't even in the league yet. Buy your 8th or 9th year, 10th year of your season, I feel like you should. And I'm in my 7th year now, 8th year now, and I wouldn't say it's definitely been an improvement. And I just hope that the NLL keeps growing, because that's only going to get better for everybody.
Right. Well, one of the things I guess would then be midweek games, which would be a difficult thing, I think, right now with fan bases. Do you think that the game can overcome that and move forward?
Big, right? Having a game in the middle of the week. And to me, I think for that is, they're going to have to start to pay more. They're going to have to start to get more, like much more money that way. Than, like you said, it'll be full time. Guys won't have to go out there and grind on other jobs. But for what it is now, I think they're doing pretty good. Even having double headers, I think double headers are a good thing in a different sense. But yeah, I personally said they keep kind of doing their thing. That NLL will grow. It's just kind of a matter of time. And
right. One of the things I noticed when training camps were on this year were the teams brought in a lot of players, and the majority of them are NLL caliber. When Brett Frood was talking about not having expansion for a little bit, stabilizing teams, do you think the league is ready to expand? Because there'd be a lot of players that don't have work right now.
Yeah, that's kind of tough, because like you get all these good lacrosse players that are going to an already established team, right? Do I fit in type thing? But I think that's good that the PBLA had a league, sadly that they just folded, which isn't good for anybody. To see that, okay, so maybe I don't make an NLL team, maybe I could fall down and hop in one, play for a little bit, do well, get some attention, and then have another opportunity. And ball is also another good thing. Like I said, with that pro caliber, you get these pro coaches that you get to play with. It's good lacrosse, and it's a good feeder to. So I think as much as the NLL kind of keeps growing, I should do the same thing, and help get more teams into the league. There is a lot of good players out there, a lot of players that people really don't know about, and so it's just one of those things where it's just like a hidden talent or a missed talent that it's just a matter of when and how they'll be able to get to where they need to be.
Right. Well, we have the Arena Lacrosse League here in Canada, and now it's expanded to the West finally. Do you think it could be sustainable in the U.S.? Because you talked about the PBLA, and one of the problems was attendance. Basically, a field country. Do you think that it's ready to have that kind of a league in there to sustain these players and to help U.S. Boxland?
I think so. For those American players to get a taste of something different, right? Instead of playing, go learn a different kind of game. So, potentially that they can be the next Tom Schreiber, right? Because in my eyes, those are top players in the league that are American, and see more players, even more PLL players, kind of make that jump. But I know a lot of people kind of stick to the traditional the field game, which I have no problem with. But it's also another, to me, I would say another reason, a good reason for the league to all these top D1 athletes that were the best players at their school, but where they could also potentially play in the NLL. So I think having more dates for not only PLL kids, kids in high school, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of hidden talent. I think that'd be great for the USA.
How about we only got a little bit of time left. I hope I can ask you a question you can answer quickly. Tell us what it's like to be a lacrosse player. You touched on the fact that you guys are all from the same neighborhood, but what you didn't talk about is what it's like to play against the guys that are from the same neighborhood.
That is, I think it's the best part. Like, you know, you're talking to the guy throughout the week. For instance, one of the guys on Calgary, Zach Haywire, is one of my good buddies. I talk to him every single day. Although he might not be on the side that I cover, you better bet that I'm going to be going on that. See him out. And then, you know, it's just play. You get to do something you love with your good friends you kind of grew up with, you played with. We'll have a couple beers together, and you know, you talk about it, right? And then it's always till next time. The moment, because you know you only get those couple of days that you get to see each other, or if you're playing against some night, so you obviously have to make the most of it. And you know, like I said, playing nights where I'm not going to be taking it easy on anybody, and you know, we can talk.
Yeah, we know what it's like to play on the floor with family, and friends can become like family.
Oh yeah, doesn't take much. Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you very much for taking the time to do this with us. It's been a pleasure, and the hour's gone by just like this.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was it's always nice to
Anytime.
talk, you know, talk that doesn't get talked about as much. So again, yes, thank you for having me.
Well, we need guys like you in the league. We need guys like you on this show, and we're trying to do our best to get people to know you guys on a personal level without causing any anxiety when you're on with us. I hope we didn't cause any.
No, never. It's always a good time.
Last word to you, Gary. Before we go.
Well, like I said, I just want to thank you, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season and through your summer season as well.
Yes, thank you so much.
Our pleasure. I'll take it from here, gentlemen. It was a pleasure having you guys both on. It was a pleasure talking about lacrosse. The Halifax team, the Mooseheads, are a fun squad. You guys are a joy to watch, just like every other NLL team. We enjoy covering you. We appreciate the players that come on here, the coaches, the ownership, and even the commissioner. And we hope you folks at home enjoyed what you were watching today, and we hope you'll watch us from time to time. Check out Lacrosse Talk, seen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Lacrosse Talk news, entertainment, and other sports programming we offer, please check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.